it's almost over. I ain't gonna let it pull me under, but I will conquer. Some days I can't move forward, and
good afternoon to all our viewers. This is all happening here at the Colombo Racecourse. It all ends here in this Dialog Clifford Cup finale as Havelock Sports Club lock horns against Air Force. Not the final we would have seen, but a lot of prospect from Havelock and Air Force, and both teams are out here with a purpose and with the intention of taking home that silverware. It has not seen any of these clubs. The Dialog Clifford Cup has not seen any of the likes of Air Force and Havelock Sports Club for the last 2 or 3 decades or so, and today will change everything as Air Force Sports Club lock horns against Havelock, the second finisher of the Dialog Rugby League and the 8th place finisher of the Dialog Rugby League. Who would have thought that will come to this point where the 8th place finisher of the Dialog Rugby League will come and face Havelock Sports Club in the final here today at the Colombo Racecourse. Joining me alongside is Sabir Kadir. Sabir, I'll ask you this question as well. Would you have ever thought that Air Force Sports Club will make that comeback after that disappointing season to make the final?
Well, Inshaf, not only myself, I don't think any of the rugby fraternity who's following Sri Lanka rugby so closely would have thought that Air Force is going to make it. But that's some sensational work in that police game in that semi-final, because mind you, Air Force did beat police in the first round of Dialog Rugby League. So these soldiers, when they play Air Force, when they especially play against the Corps, there's no love lost, as we can see.
There's no love lost, and that's exactly what they do. They defeated Police Sports Club, Nuan Pereira scoring that try in the far corner just behind here, and that sealed the game. A lot of enthusiasm, a lot of passion from that Air Force side. I think they'll have to be thanking Candy Sports Club first of all.
Oh yeah, invitation is open, you take it, why not? But again, a team coming from that wooden spoon, no one thought, like you said, Inshaf, but they're coming with a different mindset, you know. Any given time, rugby is all about that playing that 80 minutes. Who plays with that less mistakes and more points, at the end of the day, obviously they are the winners.
I was talking to Dinuk Bhaskaran as well, Sabir, in the pre-match run-up. He was talking to me about how knockout rugby is not like league rugby. Whatever you do in that 80 minutes, that's going to decide whether you go up or you go down or you just exit that tournament. So that's exactly what the Air Force did. But then Havelock Sports Club, a team that lost out that silver, very unfortunate from the pink jerseys. For me personally, I think the best team, the most up-and-coming team this year has been Havelock Sports Club.
Absolutely. One should understand that after giving away all those star players to different other clubs in Shaf, but they stood with those youngsters, you know, although fewer experienced players like Dushmanta Priyadarshana, who's involving, and great leadership among the pack, and Riza Mubarak as the last man guiding those young brigades. It was some sensational performance. We never thought that they would make it for the top 2, but they had that chance to lift that Dialog Rugby League. But what a finale we just witnessed.
What a remarkable team Havelock Sports Club has been in this Dialog Rugby League. They proved their haters right. They made a point, but we'll take a quick look as to how the conditions are today, Sabir. Partly cloudy is the prediction today, but it's way hotter. But then the wind factor is going to play a very important role here. But teams, they played one game already, so that's not going to be too much of a factor for the place kickers.
In terms of talking about this wind in Shaf, I don't be surprised. In fact, Air Force won't be surprised, because if you go to Ratmalana grounds, every training aspect, Air Force, we see the wind coming one direction, so they might be using it. So it's all important toss in this game of rugby to select whether to play against the sun or play with the winds.
Exactly, so tough call on that match coin toss as well. Captain Lahiri Udayanga Kumara and Niroshan Fernando will have that decision to make whether they do or go to option 1 or option 2. So let's wait and find out. This is the Dialog Clifford Cup in the Dialog Rugby season. We'll take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll have lots to talk about in this final and how these teams have progressed.
Sophisticated selection of Yardley, London.
Eeny, meeny, miny, moe, cheesy treats, we want more.
Crescent Mini Keeves. Try it. Love it. The original Mini Keeves, only from Crescent.
Ride the global Pulsar Mania now and upgrade to the new and improved Pulsar 200 NS from David Peary's Motor Company Private Limited.
Sophisticated selection of Yardley, London. Sophisticated selection of Yardley, London.
Crunchy munchy.
Fiery Kochi.
Crescent Kochi Bites. Try it. Love it. The original Kochi Bites only from Crescent.
Sophisticated selection of Yardley, London.
It ain't easy, but it's almost over.
Welcome back to live action here at the Dialog Clifford Cup final. I was talking to Sabir earlier about how Air Force have made their journey, but then not taking anything away from Havelock Sports Club. I think the way they performed, they clearly outwitted that Navy attack in the quarterfinals. And then in that Army game, the Havelock Army game, that was one thriller of an encounter.
Absolutely. Over 60 points, it's something special. They came with a clear plan, and look at the changes coming in. All the youngsters got the opportunity to start. Sandesh Javikram, a former St. Peter's player and also played for Sri Lanka under 20. He's now seems like a matured man, you know, he's guiding those team really well. And also Tikshana Dasanayaka, he also played along with Sandesh during his school. So these youngsters really pulled their socks and they really delivered, but it's a try-fest. But Army, something to disappoint for themselves, because they were, especially after that beating Kandy in Nitawala grounds in Shaf, they again showed that lackluster performance and not enough consistency, something every coach will find that. So they don't have anything else unless they come for the next year well prepared.
Consistency is key for any team, But let's take a look at how the quarterfinals initially were. Havelock Sports Club having a free ride in that quarterfinal. I would say 48 points to 19. That's how that finished. CRNFC surprisingly, very surprising, for the second time in this Dialog season, they lost to Police. And then CSNFC came in with that surprise. Everyone expected CSNFC to go the distance and win that final also. And somewhere down the line, Army Sports Club came in and just cancelled all their plans.
Absolutely, but it's all about today when, like we were discussing before in shop, can Air Force be the Leicester City who won that Premier League football encounter? But talking about this, again we mentioned this, it's all about 80 minutes game, who is doing well with minimum errors and who is doing according to their game plan and understanding the condition and reading the opposite numbers. So it's all about winning a momentum.
It's all about that game, that 80 minutes what you play. But talking about Leicester City, Sabir, I'd like to bring that fancy story. I remember when they won the English Premier League, there was one person who had betted 40,000 is to 1. His odds of that bet was that Leicester will win that EPL title. And then look, fast forward 8-9 months, he walked home with a jackpot.
That's quite unbelievable. Yeah, I'm sure there's not only one person, also along with here so many forces. I'm sure they are betting against or with I mean, in fact, the Air Force team to win in Shaf without a doubt. So there's no money cost, I don't think, apart from those racing bets. It's anything is available in Sri Lanka.
So let's take a look at how Police Sports Club fared in that quarter-final against the Air Force. It was a very lackluster game in my opinion, because there were a lot of handling errors, a lot of errors from both sides. But then Air Force Sports Club, from somewhere or the other, Ishara Madhushan and his newfound lock combinations, I think they've put their hand up. And that's exactly what happened when they broke through, found their spaces and scored.
That's a wonderful try. You can see lovely move. And Idhamal Gouda, former captain.
That's not Idhamal Gouda, Sabir. Idhamal Gouda has been sent out. He's been given that break. And then Ishara Madhushan has put his hand up with the number 10 jersey.
That's absolutely fantastic. Waiting for the opportunity. You can see how he delivered on that game. Also, there's some experienced lads. Also, Nuan Pereira, one of a gem of a player for Air Force. We haven't seen much sparks from him this season, but a couple of seasons ago, he was sensational to watch for Air Force.
Nuan Pereira, you can't take that away from them, Sabir. Nuan Pereira was the match winner. He scored that try on the far corner, put in that cheeky kick, and then got his players up and running. And you cannot take anything away from this lad. Making his comeback in this Dialog Clifford Cup was not the best in the Dialog Rugby League.
Yeah, he's having that educated left foot in shot, which was come handy when he hit those uprights for the conversion and the penalties. And not only those, we witnessed like last time, those cheeky kicks and little grubbers and the punts, which will come vitally in this game, especially the width of the racecourse grounds, you all know, and also the difference between the try line, I mean the goal line and the deadline, also there's enough width.
Exactly, and then that was how Police Sports Club faltered against the Air Force. But then Havelock Sports Club, what a first half we had. They scored and they made sure that they stamped their authority on that game. They know how important, they know how thirsty they are for trophies. They lost out that trophy to Candy Sports Club. Very unfortunate. The scoreline read 19-21, if I'm not wrong, in that Havelock Sports game. And then they know what they're coming in for.
I'm sure Reza Mubarak must be unhappy with that conversion, took the second try from a difficult angle, but then again, it's there another opportunity coming in, so it's all about showing that dominance. And but especially in this Army game, within the first quarter, 20 minutes of play, Havelock scored over 5 tries, which is sensational again. So they are carrying that momentum, showing that consistency in shafts. So again, this game is for their trophy cabinet if they do it well.
Exactly, Havelock have nothing to lose. Had a very good season. But I like how Coach Lakala Pereira is using the youngsters. He has faith in the youngsters. That's something it is very hard for a coach to take that faith. Okay, look here, you're starting tomorrow and you're going to make sure that we win. That kind of confidence is what Lakala Pereira is engulfing on his youngsters.
Absolutely, we saw just Samar Dabar scoring that try. Poor defense by Army in Shah for Sandesh Jayavikrama as the first reliever, using that big number 8, Lasindishan, to further contact. He has been that animal instinct player this season throughout, regardless of that the punch on one of the CR players. Should have been a red card, but he was out for 2 weeks. He learned the lesson. So these are the little things that you are coming from the school and you are playing for a big club. You are stamping authority on your shirt number. That is something to be proud of.
Exactly, but not forgetting on to how the Havelock Sports Club senior men. It is a point where, Sabir, I remember where Havelock had a lot of players going out. People were losing confidence on the Havelock side. And then there were 3 players. I think Dushman Pridarshan is not here playing today. He's out injured. But there were 3 other players, Chamara Dabare, Riza Mubarak, and then Mithun Hapugoda. They changed the game for Havelock.
Absolutely, Mithun Hapugoda. He's such an unlucky player. He was sensational stuff. He even captained Sri Lanka 7th team during one of the Hong Kong 7s, and since then he was out for 2 or 3 years with those knee injury, and then every time he come he went again back with his ankle injury and both the knees ACL problems. So this time around, the experienced player, he was like the man in red hot form, or rather pink hot form. Some sensational stuff. Every scrum half, even being a halfback, everyone can be proud of the way he played that finals against Kandy, even in the losing foot Havelock Sports Club. But he came early in that first half. Coaches made changes early in the 30th minute, but he was like, even the team can't do, I will lead this team for the win.
So there you go, red pink fire as Sabir Khader mentions. But Riza Mubarak, what a player he has been for Havelock Sports Club. I think he's going on his 11th or 12th club. He has played his rugby for Isipatana College, has been a regular servant for Sri Lanka Rugby 15s, has won a lot of games single-handedly. Do you remember that 2015 Division 1 Championship, Sabir? He kicked that cornermost conversion that will see Sri Lanka off to a victory, and that's exactly what he's been doing. Coming in, winning matches, delivering consistently.
Absolutely. Riza Mubarak, Mr. Reliable, as we all know. He, one man alone, guiding those youngsters like we mentioned before, Inshaf. And also his kicking consistency has been absolutely more than average, I must say. We know that Samuel Madhwanta did well. We know that Vijay Singh also did well. But here, Riza Mubarak, the man, if you ask me who would get the spot for the Sri Lankan selection or the jersey, first I would go with Dushman Pridarshan, but unfortunately with his knee injury I don't think he'll be recovered by May. And then secondly, maybe it's Riza Mubarak.
Let's wait and find out when the Sri Lanka team goes for the Asia Division 1 Championship. That's towards the end of May. But before that, speaking about Air Force, Sabir, a team that has a lot of mixed talent, I would say. A lot of senior men. Charit Seniratne, one of Sri Lanka's loyal servants in the 7th format, made his way onto it. I was talking to Aruna Shant, former Sri Lanka 7s representative as well. He tells me about the talent that they've got in that team. How they come together as a team is very remarkable because they have the combinations. Charit Seniratne, Gayanthi Dimagura, alongside two of youngsters who are performing for the side. I'd like to talk about 2 important players in that forward line, Tilna Bandara and Charles Praveen.
Well, Charles Praveen, I think he's 120 plus kg, and he's some huge made player, like someone like Billy Vunipola, for instance, because I have seen that the hit, most of the players feels that after the game, even in the ice bath in so. But it's all about his mobility and how much he's going to play, whether it's going to be a 60-minute game. But for Air Force, it's not going to be only one man's game in Shaf. It's about all the 15 or all the 23. That's what Air Force is about, despite the fact that Havelocks can make that 1 or 2 spark or X factor coming in to change this game.
Exactly. So coaches are going with Gayanthi Dimagura at wing 3/4. That's a very important move. He's used to be playing at first 5/8, but interestingly, coaches want him inside that 15 because the amount of experience he has with him. Very composed lad. Knows what to do. We saw him do the same thing inside out for the last 10-15 years. But then I have my money on Tilna Bandara, a player who is not seen too often. But then he delivers in that line out, and then if you could remember very well, 2016 national selections, almost that second row jumping spot went to Tilna Bandara, but he had to be injured.
Well, yeah, absolutely, Inshav. That's some unlucky, unfortunate incident for him. But if Tilna Bandara, from that first 5/8, if he put some pressure on Sandesh Jayavikrama, who's starting today, something like Finn Russell did against England in that Calcutta Cup in the second half. First half, there was not much performance. If he could put some pressure on the young man in the likes of Sandesh Jayavikrama, then the captain might have to come off the bench early on. Then Havelocks might find trouble. if that not happen in Shaft, maybe it's going to be Havelocks running all the way the park.
Incidentally, both coaches want their youngsters to play this game, as the two captains, Lairodyan Kumara of Air Force and Havelock Sports Club, are in the bench. So one last time, Sabit, we're coming to the end of this long season. One last time, I'm asking you, what's your prediction for this final?
Like you said, we never thought that Air Force will pull out over the Corps, but the way Havelocks are playing the quarterfinal and the semi-finals against Army, I think it's their cup to win, their trophy cabinet, put that trophy in, and the way they played performance. But unless Air Force put some early pressure, because if you leave that to the second half, Havelocks have all the necessary experience coming off the bench in Shaft. So my money is on Havelocks.
So there you go, that's the prediction. It is Havelocks' cup to win. Let's wait and find out if Air Force can spoil this out. And on the other side, we'll have Sudarshan Piris alongside Clifford Surendran with the team cards.
Hello there, welcome, and it's a fantastic evening here at the Colombo Racecourse and the Clifford Cup Finals. Yes, that's the big one, the Clifford Cup Finals. Air Force taking on Havelock Sports Club, and that's going to be the big evening here for both teams who have been in the finals on multiple occasions. But today, it's their real turn to win. So let's see who is going to go out and do their best and get that, or rather I would say grab that trophy, the big coveted Clifford Cup. Well, here you're watching the live coverage exclusively on www.thepapare.com, bringing you Sri Lanka's top sporting events, and this is the best hub to catch all the actions from home or from anywhere. Well, let's go and take a look at the Air Force team card. Well, that's going to be some big names, and they have done so well to get here. Well, there I go. So Charles Praveen on number 1, and Parakram Ratnayaka playing as a hooker, and Niroshan Rajanayaka. Well, it's fairly a good, a well-balanced front row. You can see the height and the weight were pretty much matching, but the experience also counts in. And Tilna Bandara and Johan Pereira coming in as the second rowers, two tall players. Very young, 23 age, and they got heap loads of experience playing this season. Well, there you go, the third rows. Well, Abhishek Rasanjana playing as number 7 jersey, along with Shamindo Dekumar, who is on the blind side, and Saraka Varela playing at number 8. What a play he is. He has produced some fantastic results for Air Force. And there you go, so that's the front row. And linking up the forwards and the three quarters will be Nuan Pereira, who's playing on 21, age 24, and look at him, and he's been a live wire, and also who has taken up the kicking duties and playing in the very pivotal position as number 10, Ishara Madhushan, along with Jero Dhananjaya and Krishan Jayasuri will be teaming up with the rest of the three quarters, and they got pace, they got beautiful footwork, and they are really hard at the three quarters on the opposite side. Well, there you go. So that's the Air Force, and also Kaushal Manupriya along with Gayantri Iddamalgode will be playing in the flanks, and the speedsters who are assigned for this game. And Gayantri Iddamalgode is a big name, and also Charita Senivaratna playing as number 15, who will be taking on the sweepers responsibility for the evening. Well, there you go. That's the Sri Lanka Air Force. And looking at Havelocks, well, Abdullah Faiz and Dayan Saba as hooker, and Sayan Saba as the prop. Well, there you go. So that's the front row, and all young. Look at the age, they're 19 and 21, very young front row, along with Shara Fernando, a very well experienced second row, along with Ganindu Lakshan. And Shara Fernando, we have seen him doing so well for the club and for the country, and what a fantastic player he is. Well, Shokut Lahir will be on number 7, and along with Umesh Madhushankar, who is going to be on the blind side. Once again, a very young lineup here, along with Lashindu Karunatilaka playing as a very key important role at number 8. Well, that's the third row for Havelock Sports Club. And there you go, Mithun Hapugada, what an experienced campaigner he is, and he has turned the tables around for Havelocks and played a fantastic game, and he'll be linking up with Sandesh Jaivikrama, who's playing as a fly half. Well, Sandesh Jaivikrama, 21-year-old, and has very little experience, but then again, he has done so well. Well, Tikshana Disanayaka and the star player for Havelocks, Dinu Kamarasinghe, former Anthonian skipper, will be in the center positions, and they have done their yards throughout this season and scored many tries. Fantastic duo, along with Chamara Dabre and Asita Punchewa, the win 3, and the evergreen very much talented Riza Mubarak as number 15. What a play he is. Well, if you look at this overall age, they are between the age of 21 and 26, so it's going to be a big plus for Havelocks in time to come. Well, there you go, that's a substitution. Well, both the teams have a very well balanced bench, but going into this game as favorites, I would say Havelocks, but Air Force, I'm sure they have something on their cards as well. Well, joining me here in the commentaries, Sudarshan Piri. Sudarshan, good evening to you.
Celebrating a decade of passion, and what a game we have in our hands. Runners up of the league, tying up against the bottom place team of the league. What a shocker that is. Air Force, of course, benefited through a walkover of Candy Sports Club, but take nothing away, they did really well to make sure that they get into this final by beating Police Sports Club. Police, who were a real force to be reckoned with in the second round of games, didn't have the best outing against the Airmen, so unfortunately missing out on a final spot. Air Force, on the other hand, are featuring in their first final in 31 years, Clifford. So that's a long wait it has been for them. So they will know the importance of this moment, and they will want to make sure they capitalize on the opportunity and make sure they have a good one here.
Yeah, so even though it was a walkover, but they have done so well to get past the rest of the hurdles to be here in the finals. It's going to be a big evening, I would say a massive evening for Air Force. But on the other hand, Havelocks, they have done so well as well to get to these finals. And right now, it's going to be the big game. And you can take the entire season away. And this is a knockout, and this is the big final. Anything could happen. So even though Hav is going in as the favorites, but still Air Force, they have proved that they are a team who is capable of winning, and they've been here. Well, that's the big trophy they're playing for, the Clifford Cup, and it has got history, and there you go. So these two teams are here to create history, and they are going to contest in these big finals, and whoever is going to win, it's going to be a milestone achievement for their club, because for a couple of decades these teams have not won this trophy, and especially Air Force coming after into this final for many years, and this is going to be a big opportunity for them. There you go, that's the guest of honors along with the distinguished guest, the Minister of Sports, that's Honorable Minister Harin Fernando, along with the rest of the Sri Lanka rugby officials and the sponsors Dialog. Now we have the officials as well, all lined up. Beautiful pictures there by our drone cam. We have a fantastic production team who is bringing you this live coverage. They have done so well, been here in this ground since morning, setting up the cameras, doing the trial runs, everything to ensure you get the beautiful pictures, and the entire match is covered from all angles, every corner, without you missing a single picture or a clip or a slide. Well, there you go, we are about to begin. Fantastic evening, beautiful weather conditions, pretty warm out there, Sudarshana, but still it's manageable for these two teams, I guess.
Oh, absolutely. It's very humid, and the sun is blaring down. We inside this box, we are finding it difficult as well, so I cannot imagine how it must be for the players who are in the middle. I'm sure the referees will opt to take that quarterly break, Clifford, especially given the fact that it's very humid. Beautiful pictures brought to you by our production team as the Air Force team takes the huddle. Mark my words, Havelock Sports Club is they would be expecting an easy game after how they performed against Army Sports Club, but make no mistake, Havis will be tested here.
This match is brought to you by EFL, proud sponsor of the Sri Lanka Rugby Referees and Havelock Sports Club.
And here's the kickoff. Air Force putting it up high. Shaukat Lahir underneath it. Straight away under pressure. Coughs it up very cheaply. Not the ideal start for the Havies. And here's an opportunity for Air Force to make sure that they capitalize from the first move of the game and make something out of it.
Yeah, what a start. Under pressure, Havies already. Air Force, well, they're going to go from the word go. That's the idea behind them. And they're putting a lot of pressure. Something really good to start with. What a chance for Sri Lanka Air Force. Just only 30 seconds into the game. They already have a scrum in the opposite half. And they're driving forward. You can see that. Beautiful offload and good support play coming in. And they got support. Oh, unfortunate, but it's a turnover ball for Havies. Survives under the pressure. What a kick. Doesn't find touch, but good enough to get out of trouble. That awful bounce. Well, what a start did Sudarshan. It's been up and down. And good start by Air Force, but unfortunately because of the knock forward, and Havies managed to turn things around. And now they are attacking.
Both teams guilty of coughing up possession very cheaply, but well done to Gayanthi Damalgodo, who had the sense to collect that ball, had the composure to cut back in, show inside, turn around and kick it back to Sandesh Jayawickrama. Mithun Hapugoda was really on his toes at that time. Here's Air Force trying to find gaps closer to that line out. With Damalgoda. Now men on the outside for Yarman. Not managing to offload to the intended player. Yarman, when they are composed and playing with the ball, they look very good. Long cutout pass to the number 8. Baralla has been a linchpin for Air Force. Ishara Madhushant unfortunately has been looking for people to pass. Haven't had men crashing on to that ball. Long lofted balls, giving enough time to the defenders to mark their men. Air Force have been going behind their gain line. They haven't been able to penetrate that gain line and gain in on the pink shirts. Havish forcing an error and winning their first scrum in the Air Force half. Here's how it happened. Charit Senabiratna's pass was not very well collected by a forward who I thought was in two minds whether to go for that ball or not. Match officials for today, referee Reme Julian, assisted by referee Dinka Piris and Sarath Madugalla on the sidelines. Hapugoda to put in. On the short side, goes on the short side, show and go. Mithun Hapugoda will go down for the first try. What a brilliant try that is from the scrum half, who has been such a wonderful player for Havelocks, was used as an impact player throughout this season, and him managing to get the exact same number as Sudham Suryarachi, who was the main time scrum half during the season, really tells a story about this guy. Starting today's game, goes on the short side, show and go, beats 4 people and touches down for the first scrum.
Look me like a hybrid version of rugby, you know. He's been not only, you know, operating just with the full, but also like he's got the battery pack up, because you can see the acceleration there. It's beaten purely by the pace and beautiful footstep as well. What a start for Havies. Not even 5 minutes on the clock. They're already 5 points on the board. And it's going to be a piece of cake for Riza Mubarak for his caliber. We have seen him doing fantastically well with his boot throughout the season and for many years. So let's see whether he's going to put this up. Seems like an easy conversion, and that's through. 7-0 for Havis. What a start. Beautifully done. That's going to give them some confidence, having 5 points on the board. And definitely it's going to be an uphill task from now onwards for the Airmen to fight back. Look at that pace. Beautiful steps inside and just beaten by the pace, I would say. Good try.
Terrific stuff by Mithun Hapagoda, and if this is how this game is going to progress, Airmen are in for a real long ask. Another good high-hanging kick, very well contested by the chasers from Air Force. Seneviratna acting a halfback, sends it out. Here's Madhushan taking a quick tap penalty due to the Havis defenders not releasing the tackled player. Madhushan gives it to Charles Praveen, another one of those players who've played an important part in this Air Force team, despite not having a lot of support up there in the front row. Unfortunately, the Airmen have lost the ball forward. Plenty support for Air Force. Many airmen and women in their uniforms have gathered around racecourse, so they will be cheering them on.
Yeah, a lot of support. You can see most of the blue shirts there, so that's the support for Air Force. But as we speak, Havis moving forward, and for Sudarshana, even though Havis looks a little bit dodgy there, but Air Force is looking very lively. But again, there you go. So couple of occasions, turnover balls were not really managed by Air Force, but now it's Havis on the charge again.
Azrul, I think what has done well for Havis is there are plenty of players in their team who take that direct route, Clifford. They take the direct route, penetrate the gate line, and take a look at that. Ganidu Lakshan, beautiful offload after going into contact, keeps the ball alive, keeps when you cross the gain line and go through the gain line, but that time guilty of not releasing the ball, so gifting away position. Coming back to what I said, when you cross the gain line, when you go through, when you get that penetration, and when you're on the front foot, the defensive team struggles not being able to get that defensive patterns right. I think that's why Havis has been lethal in getting so many points, and that's a terrific touch finder. Approximately about 45 meters. Here's why they got away with the penalty, right on top of that ball. I believe it was the next one. Yep. That's when Havis got the penalty, Ganidu Lakshan. I thought maybe the Air Force defense was not 10 meters, but here you go, holding on to that ball. But that was a terrific touch find. The Air Force now inside the 22, but they mess up the line out. Very unfortunate, because that was a real attacking opportunity. Havis now on the counter. Very dangerous. Dinu Kamar Singh offloads to Kushal Manupriya. Havis still with the ball. Lahir to Jaya Vikrama, who changes direction. Now Riza Mubarak. Good tackle coming in. Desperate defense for Air Force, now playing with advantage. The intentions are clear from the Air Force players. They want to make sure that they have the territorial advantage. Mithun Hapagoda under pressure. Air Force now just meters away. They need to make sure that they secure possession. Referee now playing advantage in favor of Air Force. They had to make sure that they kept held on to that ball, luckily for them. To make matters worse, Havi's player was sent to the bin as well. Number 30, Asita Gayashan. Well set maul. Air Force now driving forward inside the 5 meters, looking for that line. Seems like the referee is going to award a penalty try. Yes, that will be 7 points for Air Force. Havis would have hoped for it to be 5 points to 7 because it was in the corner, but referee deems that was a sure try. Oh, well, look at that man in the uniform, referee Rohan Fernando, getting behind his club side.
Look at that beautiful line out, cleanly taken. The maul is binding in, the players were coming in, and they were going for the rolling maul. And Havi's players desperately trying to stop them, ended up bringing them down. And so it's been awarded a penalty try for bringing down the maul. So that's the cause for that 7 points awarded to Air Force. So it's all even now, 7-all, and Havis have to start working all over again. Oh, it falls into loose plays. It's not a good thing to do. Nicely picked up by Havis. And they managed to secure the ball. A criminal error by the Air Force players. Not collecting the ball cleanly on the kickoff, letting it bounce loosely. And ended up conceding a penalty as well. So that's going to add up more. A little bit of a horror story there. They just managed to get 7 points on the board. And the restart, they let the ball bounce very loosely. And for Havis to secure the ball and also conceding a penalty now. Havelock's inside the Air Force danger zone. And they have a line out. So this Sudarshan, where do you think this is going to go and end up?
Oh, how many times have you seen this? You score a try, lots of concentration, and the opposition side is right back in it. Here are the Havis forwards bouncing in together, and they touchdown. One after the other. Another try comes. The pink shirt player coming away with the ball is the number 16, Zaba, for Havelock Sports Club. Havis, despite being down to 14 men, managing to reply the Air Force score with another score straight away. So they will want to make sure that they keep their rhythm despite being down to 14 men. Air Force, on the other hand, need to consider themselves very, very, very unlucky because they just got an advantage of, they just got the numerical advantage and also points on board. But giving away such an easy try, very unfortunate.
Well, you're spot on when you said, losing concentration. And they just scored, and rather they got 7 points on the board. And the restart, they really failed to collect it. And then again, the recovery was very poor. It's a chance for Havis to extend the lead. Riza Mubarak makes no mistake. 2 out of 2 for him. Beautiful start for Havis.
Beautiful conversion by Mubarak, who's been such a loyal servant for Sri Lanka rugby. Played a bulk of his rugby at CRNFC. Played some time at Navy Sports Club, Police Sports Club before crossing over to Havelock Sports Club. But he's been such a consistent performer throughout this year. And he's safe as houses at the back as fullback.
Well, no doubt, Sudarshan, he's got a heap load of experience, and I remember his beautiful, or rather I would say his excellence, the way he played in the Rugby Asia or the Division 1 Championship when it was played in Sri Lanka. Well, there you go, restart, and it's not a clean collection by Havish, but still they managed to secure the ball. Good offload.
Great carry by the Havelocks. And here's Diksha Running through the middle, plenty of space for him. Needs support but loses the ball forward. All the good work, all the yards that he earned through brilliant running to no avail as they lose the ball. Madhushan puts the ball up in the air. Riza Mubarak returns the favor. But Riza right on the mark. Take a look at that tactical kick. Had to touch inside the field before it went into touch because Riza collected the ball from outside the 22. Does it well with a low hanging kick which goes the distance.
Yeah, beautifully done. So we were talking about Riza Mubarak and his skills. And there you go. So that's a run. Beautiful side steps. Cutting back inside. And all the hard work goes in vain because he just drops the ball. What a hard tackle there. And restart with a throw. Was opting to go for the long one, but missing it completely, giving the opportunity for Havish to rebuild and attack again. So close. Can they make it? What an error there, and that's going to be a costly error by Air Force. And Havish trying to rebuild and recycle the ball. And still opting to work with the forwards. They got a heap load of 3/4 waiting for that. And now it goes out to the 3/4. There you go. Definitely seems like a 5 points coming down the line. Oh, it's not a good call. It's not a good call. Could have offloaded it, but still they got support. Now it's a turnover. Is that where it's going to cost them? Yes, it is. What an error there by the winger. Should have offloaded it. Could have offloaded it, but still Havish managed to secure the ball again. So chance for them to rebuild and attack again. So much errors by Air Force definitely is going to cost the game. They had the ball on 2 occasions and missed it to secure it. Oh, it's an up and under. Well, Sudarshan, what's happening there?
I think Mithun Hapagoda was clearly playing for advantage. He saw that referee was playing advantage because one Air Force player blocked the ball from coming through. But Hapagoda testing the waters by putting that ball up, hoping for a good collection. It's not to be. So the men will have to face the brunt of the Havish pack, who will want to maul their way through this line out. Sabah must be licking his fingers now. He knows that if he can get this one through, a proper throw, a good setup, this is bread and butter for the hookers. But Air Force doing very well to stop the initial momentum of the Havelock forwards. Ball pops out, but available with Shaukat Lahir. Quick ball out and looking for the try line was Diksha, but that's very good defending by the airmen. Managing to push them back. Quick ball out from Mithun Hapagoda. Searching for the line is Shara Fernando. Not managing to get through. It seems like, yes, there will be a try in the corner. Dabari, the man who touched down, making his comeback season at Havelock Park. He's been very decent throughout this season. We haven't seen the same Dabari we know of earlier. Maybe him cutting his hair had a little bit of a Samson effect on him, but Dabari is well and truly coming back into his usual rhythm.
Yeah, so he's back in it, and it's good to see him coming back very strong. It's a good season he had, fairly a decent season, I would say. But well, I have to go with you on that fact, like whether the haircut has cost in the worst season year before. But definitely he's growing his hair, you can see that now. But again, it's going to be another challenging kick for Riza Mubarak. 19 on the board. Havish cruising away slowly but steadily. And Air Force, they had the chance and the opportunity on multiple locations to get out of trouble. They completely missed it. What a good turnover there. Riza Mubarak opting to go for that. Beautifully done. Has it gone through? It is through. Corner flag kick, completely done.
Terrific conversion by Mubarak that time. 3 out of 3, 100% accuracy, but let's take a there will be a quarter break where the teams will get the relief of getting some water, getting that hydration back. But talking about Air Force Clifford, they were given a brilliant chance to change the complexion of the game. They scored. Havis were reduced to 14 men, and 2 mistakes cost them 2 tries. And look at the scoreline, 21 points to 7. It doesn't look like Air Force did have any fight in these opening few minutes.
Yeah, they started the game very strongly, but after heavy scoring, and they were really trying hard, and they really pushed it, and that's how they managed to get that 7 points on the board. But from there onwards, Havelock was dominating it. Restart was very strong, and I wouldn't say it was something owing to Havi's brilliance, but it's owing to the the error caused by Air Force. Basically, they have themselves to blame. They don't have anything else to say. The restart, they were not collecting the ball, so it was a turnover ball for Havis. And from there onwards, Havelock's pushing forward. And beautiful kick there by Riza Mubarak, in fact, for the second try to bring their team up to that place. And because they were actually, it was a return kick, but it was nicely done. Experience counts. And 21-7 is the score. And it's going to be a tough fast for Air Force. Restart.
Restart from Ishara Madhushan. The restarts have been good. Would have expected the chasers to be more committed to that ball, but Air Force managing to trouble Havelocks once more at the restart and get away with the penalty.
Yeah, so it's penalty for Air Force, and let's see whether they can make something out of this. Already, in fact, 2 tries down. It's 14 points down. So they have to score for them to stay in the game. Not a bad one, decent one, fair enough distance to gain territory. But the question is whether they can get a clean line out. There you go. This is where, or rather this is what it leads to the, it led to the penalty. Restart. Not a clean collection, but still Havis managed to secure the ball, but I think it's skill.
Oh well, seems like the airmen have missed out on the opportunity of capitalizing with that line out. Mithun Hapaguda, 2 put in. Havis will surely opt to go with the 8-9-11 move. There you go. Ball coming loose, but nobody wants in to pounce at that ball. So Mithun Hapaguda had all the time in the ball to attack that ball. Sandesh Javikram under pressure gives it out to Deno Kamarasinghe. Dabare trying to offload, messed it out with the airmen losing that ball forward. So another chance for Havelocks to try and set things up and get the ball behind the Air Force line and play in the opposite territory. Here's the replay.
Well, Sudarshan, if you look at it, they got a fantastic 3-quarter line, but unfortunately, majority of them are running on 45 degrees, so which is not really good. It's really like pushing the winger to the corner, and the winger doesn't have much space afterwards. That's why they have to cut back in. And if looking at their pace, if they can grab few yards and offload the ball, and definitely they can make something out of it.
Quick ball coming out, and this time into the corner. Great decision to cut back inside and create some space with Asita Gaishan with the arriving support, but they've been penalized. Havelock Sports Club. So Air Force with the opportunity to try and make sure they don't repeat the same mistake they did the earlier time. Senebiratna's touch doesn't find touch, so Hapagada create another counter. Karuna Tilaka gives it to Dabare. Dabare to Amarasinghe. Amarasinghe, a strong run of the ball. Goes back in. Tushara Madhusan was shoved into falling over the ball, but the referee decides that that was all right. Shaukat Lahir.
Well, Sudarshan, as we watch these finals here at the Racecourse, well, on the other side, CRNFC, Peters taking on Wesley College. 5 minutes to go into halftime. It's 7-all. It's going to be a tight contest.
Well, that's going to be one interesting game this season. And all of you who are interested in that game can watch that also on www.thepapare.com. So if you're at home, on Dialog TV Channel 1, you can watch the Clifford Cup knockout finals, and maybe on your phone or your tab, log into www.thepapare.com/live, and you will be able to try and catch some action.
Well, please don't switch links. Just stick to this. Yeah. Well, we're putting a maximum effort to bring you the live coverage here exclusively on www.thepapare.com, and this is the big match. The Clifford Cup Finals live and exclusively from the Racecourse. And walking into this, I think maybe something to do with the wind. Yes, it's not crooked. In fact, like you straight away went to the scrum half.
Well, I really do hope that it's something to do with the wind, because then the wingers and also the players who are in the middle would be slightly happy that there's some breeze. Otherwise, that hooker Zabar is going to be under the pump. I know how it is.
But Sudarshan, still you don't throw it to your scrum half, you know. 21-7, Havis leading. Well, Air Force, well, they were competing really hard in the first few minutes, but now pretty much the game is in Havis' hands. Havelock's coming into this final as the favorites, even though Air Force, they got a walkover from Kandy in the quarterfinals, but still managed to be here in the finals, so that's the big thing. And right now, anything could happen. We got plenty of time to go, just only 26 minutes on the clock, and plenty of time left, and just only 2 tries difference here, and Havelock's leading. And it's a scrum in favor of Air Force. Beautiful offload. It's a full house here. You can see the entire pavilion packed, and all corners of the ground. Fantastic, beautiful atmosphere. You can see the Air Force Papare playing here, and plenty of airmen with their blue uniforms supporting their club. And that's a beautiful sight. This is how a final should be. Lively atmosphere here at the Racecourse. And if you're just living around, or if you have time to make it, I would say just come here. Just make it over. And if you still want to watch it on Papare, you can bring your phone along with you and sit in the grounds, and you can watch the replays. But sometimes I do that, Sudarshan.
Yes, it's sometimes a blessing and a curse, isn't it? When you get so used to watching the replays, you keep wanting that even while you're at a live game, because you are used to that convenience of seeing it in slow motion and seeing it in different angles. Havelock Sports Club yet again giving away a penalty. Referee wanting to have a word with the skipper. Oh well, seems like this time it was the airman who was guilty of the infringement, despite the referee initially lifting the hand on the other side. Havis coming away with a penalty. There you go, losing, not supporting the body weight, falling over the ball during a ruck. As Mubarak, just the easy work of putting the ball into touch. 27 minutes in this Clifford Cup final. Air Force trailing 7 points to 21. Clifford, championship in your namesake, you must be a proud man.
course, I'm a proud man, but I have never, well, every year I actually follow this tournament. This is something unique. It's not just for the namesake, but it has got so much of hype and so much drama in this championship. And we have seen over the years how the knockouts have turned out. And look at it in the finals. A team who was at the bottom of the table is playing here in the finals. So that is good enough drama for us. And there you go. So that's the beauty about the Clifford Cup. And I've loved to see this tournament being played in Kandy. Well, I'm not sure whether it's a tradition or not, but we have seen many of the Clifford Cup being played in Kandy. And this time we're playing it here in the racecourse, the so-called neutral grounds. So 21-7.
I think back in the day it was preferred that if Kandy does come into the final to be played in Kandy, especially given the fact that they travel down to Colombo 10 times during the season, whereas the other clubs only have to travel up once. But yeah, I do agree. I remember starting to watch rugby as Karna Tilaka breaks away from the back four, Havelock Sports Club in pursuit of their fourth try in this game. Only in the opening half of the game, Air Force have put on a fight, but they have been guilty of giving away position in very crucial areas and also not getting their defensive act together. Have his forwards grinding away. They've been the difference between the two teams. We haven't seen the backlining act for the Airmen so far, but their forwards have had a lot of work to do against a very heavy set of Havis forwards. The pink shirts arguably have been the best set of forwards throughout this 2018-19 season. But here's a chance for Air Force to try and create something against run of play. Idda Malgoda puts ball to boot. In pursuit is Ishara Madhushan, who will get their first foot race, and Havis will touch down inside. That was a close call. Good thinking by the Malgoda to put the ball up and try and chase it. They got their first try in the same fashion.
Well, 50-50 Sudarshan. He had plenty of support play coming in as well. Could have offloaded and worked that way, but unfortunately, well, it's I would say it's a good thinking too, and heavily depending on the pace. But there you go. So that's the foot race we've been talking about, and good work there by Havis. Definitely saving 5 points. Riza Mubarak restarts and good collection, but unfortunately it's a knock forward. And Havis secures, it's an interception. The referee is playing advantage, yes he is.
Second interception within the space of a couple of minutes. Not ideal for Havelock Sports Club, because now most of them will be thinking twice before offloading. Take a look at that. Jump up, collect. But luckily for Havelock, the referee was playing advantage of the earlier loss forward. Must be very difficult for the referee, especially given the fact that he's new here. Taking on this heat is never an easy task. Credit to both these teams for putting up a show despite the current weather conditions. Would have loved to have this game as a game under lights, Clifford, especially given the fact that it's very, very humid. But I think the biggest problem is you can never be sure when the electricity will go off. So I think that might have been a deciding factor to keep this game during the day.
Sensible decision there by this rugby. Anyways, so recycle and restart there by Havis. And they're working their line. They got numbers coming in. And the big man, Dabari, comes down. Plenty of support there for Havis. Oh, beautifully done. Beautifully done. But good defensive work there by Air Force as well. So Sudarshan, we've been talking about Air Force three quarters not getting the ball much. But if you look at the whole game, and majority of the time the forwards were defending. So that's what was happening. They were not having possession. Havis was having the possession. Even now the ball was taken. Loose ball picked up and turnover there by Air Force.
Offside is the call from the referee, but from what I saw, the ball did come out of the last man's foot, which makes it open play. Let's take a closer look. Here's the replay. Setting it up. There you go, it comes out. So that's open play. Harsh ball for Air Force, but good awareness to bounce off that loose ball. Mubarak putting the ball in
the winning score at SMS that 077551060. Once again, guess the winning score of the winning team. And SMS that
Air Force have been good in patches. They haven't been able to get that consistency right in order to try and challenge Havelock Sports Club. 33 minutes on our clock, 7 more minutes, 6.5 more minutes to play in this first half. But they need to make sure, Air Force especially need to make sure that they have their game plan right. Havis yet again struggling with the line outs. They're playing sans their original hooker. Azmir Fajri, who's been one of those players who've really stepped up from a schoolboy ruggerite to the main leagues as the pink shirts grind their way forward to the halfway mark. Lahir, good double tackle on him by Yamin. With the new IRB rules coming in, we will see that double tackles going away for good. Here's Charit Seneviratna putting the ball up. Beautiful line by Havelock Sports Club in waiting. Deekshana Fernando loses the ball forward, second time. Now referee will stop play because there was not enough advantage. A little bit of helter-skelter play from both teams, but Air Force getting away with possession.
Well, that's not the first occasion he killed it. 3 more occasions where the 3 corners were lining up and he just simply cut inside. And he'll kill the move on 3 occasions. But let's hope he will move forward with the game. It's not that Air Force is not playing well, Sudarshana. But it's not, I'm not saying they didn't have much opportunities. They have the opportunities. But what happened here was, every time they got the opportunities, they made a soup out of it. So that's the problem. They have to organize, they have to talk during the halftime, and they have to see what they're going to do when they get the ball, because it doesn't seem like they have a plan. They're pretty much defending, and it's not even their defending, because 21 points have been already conceded. So therefore they have to put an effort hard. But each and every time they get the opportunity with the ball, they have to work that ball. They have to secure and keep that ball and make faces. And that's what they have to do, and they're failing to do here. Opportunities don't come by so often, but every time they get the ball and they just give the ball away. That's not the right way to go about it. It's the final, and it's a big, big final. And they're playing for this big trophy, Clifford Cup, and they have to really go for it.
Well, absolutely, Clifford, especially given the fact that they have been waiting to come here for the past 31 years, more than 3 decades. Follow, interact and engage with ThePapare.com, Sri Lanka's #1 sports hub, on all our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can tag us and let us know what you think about our coverage, and also do send us messages supporting your teams as the school rugby season is in full swing. Here's Air Force with an attacking move. Charit Seneviratna joining the line, cuts back in and gives it to last year's keeper, who passes it to no man.
Again, this is what I was saying, Sudarshan.
Absolutely, Clifford. It did look like a very, very productive move, but not finding the final touches. Inside ball by the Malgodovers to no man. He should have checked who was coming there. It's not the All Blacks, isn't it? Every time you pass the ball, there for you to have 2 supporters on either side of the shoulders. So very unfortunate for Air Force. Every time they look promising, they just give it away very cheaply.
That's true. So the opportunities, they do come by Air Force way, but they're failing to take it in a positive way. So turnover ball for Havelocks once again. This time the number 8 breaks and Hapagweda comes in. And good tackle move off for touch. They had to wait for the referees. It's a knock forward, yes, it's a correct call. There you go, that's the crowd build up there at the main pavilion. You can see, well, that side it's much more shady, you know.
Oh, for sure, I'm sure the referee who's on that side must be hoping for no try to be scored, because he will be exposed to the sun if so.
So we are sitting in the opposite direction and we get all the sunlight, but as we speak, Air Force charging forward, trying to break that line of 3/4 from Havis, but very unsuccessful. But still they have the ball and the position. That's the beauty about it. And they have to keep this, work that ball around, try to create opportunities and convert those opportunities into points, which they are not doing it right now.
Charles Praveen, the big man who carried that ball. Like we mentioned, an impressive player for Air Force. Parakrama Ratnayaka going into contact. Quick ball out to the corner. Air Force, what they need to look at is continuity. But doesn't get Sosa Bar managing to break through. Havelock Sports Club, every time Air Force looks good, Havis are happy to make sure that they capitalize on it. Sandesh Jayavikrama offloading to no man, good long cut out pass. Deno Kamarasinghe steps out, steps back inside, 2 men to beat. Straightens things up for Havelock Sports Club. This is what's lacking in the Airmen. They don't have players who will straighten things up for them, but brilliant turnover by Air Force. They had to get that one back. Now men on the outside. The Malgoda decided that he doesn't have the speed to run across. Ball put in front. In pursuit is Risa Mubarak alongside Tilna Bandara. Mubarak kicks the ball out. That will be a 5-meter scrum in favor of the Airmen. Out of desperation, Mubarak had to put the ball into touch or kick it out, because Tilna Bandara looked like he was going to beat him. Take a look at this. A second row against number 15, but look at Risa. No pressure. Fully composed, even with the defender on your heels.
Well, didn't want to take much risks, so it's very obvious. Well, there you go. That's the guest of honors, the distinguished guest for the evening, led by Honorable Minister of Sports Harin Fernando, along with the President of Sri Lanka Rugby, Lasthi Gunaratne. And chance for Air Force to reduce the deficit. And it's a 5-meter scrum. After a very, very, very long time, they have entered the red zone of Havelocks.
If Air Force can try and score this one and go into half-time, 14 points to 21, they will be right back in it. Gayante Damagoda cuts back inside and touches down. I beg your pardon. Seems like it was Ishara Madhushan who touched down for Air Force. Beautiful cut back right underneath the post. So at the stroke of half-time, Air Force touchdown. With the conversion to come, Madhushan, the man who did the change for Air Force. Charit Seneviratne will be, yes, look, another look.
Look at that replay, beautifully cut back inside. And the entire Havis 3/4 were expecting the ball to go to the corner flag. It was pretty much predictable the way Air Force was playing. And suddenly, he changed things around and steps back inside. Look at that jubilant Air Force crowd. And they are celebrating. And you can see the man on the left-hand side corner. Well, that's the referee, Juan Fernando. Well, beautiful sight there, Air Force celebrating, and this is very much kickable. So the first attempt for the Air Force kicker, and 1 out of 1. So score moves up to 14. Well, what a way to reduce the deficit, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. 14 points to 21. Nothing between the two teams. Now it's just one score away. For all the dominance Heavy said in the first half, they only have 3 tries to show. But Air Force, on the other hand, have managed to somehow it's in 2 converted tries. 14 points to 21. Here's the replay of that final try. Beautifully done by Ishara Madhushan. Stepped out, stepped in, and well, a massive upset is on the cards if Air Force manage to play the same way in the second half. Here you go, the halftime confirmation for you. Air Force 14, Havelocks 21. All tries converted, so the kickers of both teams are having a very good day.
So with that being said, 21-14 is the score. Havis leading. You are watching the Clifford Cup Finals. We are going into the halftime and we're going for a short commercial break. Once we are back, we'll be bringing you the live coverage of the big finals here, live from the racecourse. Stay tuned.
Crescent Mini Keeves. Try it. Love it. The original Mini Keeves, only from Crescent.
Unlimited calls, unlimited data තියෙනවා කියන්නේ. ඕනම ගේමක් ගහන්න පුළුවන්. මාස් ඒක ආන්සර් කරන්නම ඕනි කෝල් එක. සර්, මෙහෙම මාස්ටර් ප්ලෑන් එකක් ඇවිල්ලත් නැහැ. ආයේ එන්නෙත් නැහැ. ඉක්මනට මොබිටෙල් මාස්ටර් පැකේජ් එක දාගන්න. ඒකේ calls data දෙකම unlimited. මොබිටෙල් මාස්ටර් unlimited පැකේජ් එකේ unlimited calls, unlimited data. මේක ගන්නම ඕනි පැකේජ් එකක්.
Sophisticated selection of Yardley, London.
Crunchy Munchy.
Fiery Kochi.
Crescent Kochi Bites. Try it. Love it. The original Kochi Bites, only from Crescent.
Unlimited calls, unlimited data තියෙනවා කියන්නේ. ඕනම ගේමක් ගහන්න පුළුවන්. මාස් ඒක ආන්සර් කරන්නම ඕනි කෝල් එක. සර්, මෙහෙම මාස්ටර් ප්ලෑන් එකක් ඇවිල්ලත් නැහැ. ආයේ එන්නෙත් නැහැ. ඉක්මනට මොබිටෙල් මාස්ටර් පැකේජ් එක දාගන්න. ඒකේ calls data දෙකම unlimited.
Unlimited calls, unlimited data, only with Mobitel Master Unlimited Package.
මේක ගන්නම ඕනි පැකේජ් එකක්.
sophisticated selection of Yardley, London.
Unlimited calls, unlimited data තියෙනවා කියන්නේ. ඕනම ගේමක් ගහන්න පුළුවන්. මාස් ඒක ආන්සර් කරන්නම ඕනි කෝල් එක. සර්, මෙහෙම මාස්ටර් ප්ලෑන් එකක් ඇවිල්ලත් නැහැ. ආයේ එන්නෙත් නැහැ. ඉක්මනට මොබිටෙල් මාස්ටර් පැකේජ් එක දාගන්න. ඒකේ calls data දෙකම unlimited. මොබිටෙල් මාස්ටර් unlimited පැකේජ් එකේ unlimited calls, unlimited data. මේක ගන්නම ඕනි පැකේජ් එකක්.
Get with the global Pulsar mania now and upgrade to the new and improved Pulsar 200 NS from David Peary's Motor Company Private Limited.
நேரடி ஒளிபரப்பு யாழ்ப்பாணத்தில்
මාතර කොටවිල ගම්පියසට ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා.
සිරිතදාස
ඇඩ්මෝරටුව පියගම මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ ක්‍රීඩාංගණය.
கிழக்கு மாகாணம்
Sugatadass Indoor Stadium
is the Fox Hill Supercross.
කුරුණෑගල සිරි ඇතුගල් පුරවරය
papare.com අපි අද ඇවිල්ලා ඉන්නේ නෝරෙලිය ප්‍රදේශයේ.
Final showdown Candy Sports Club.
පොළොන්නරුව ජාතික සංකීර්ණයේ සිට
நேரடி ஒளிபரப்பு யாழ்ப்பாணத்தில்
මාතර කොටවිල ගම්පියසට ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා.
සිරිතදාස
ඇඩ්මෝරටුව පියගම මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ ක්‍රීඩාංගණය.
கிழக்கு மாகாணம்
Sugatadass Indoor Stadium
is the Fox Hill Supercross.
කුරුණෑගල සිරි ඇතුගල් පුරවරය
papare.com අපි අද ඇවිල්ලා ඉන්නේ නෝරෙලිය ප්‍රදේශයේ.
Final showdown Candy Sports Club.
පොළොන්නරුව ජාතික සංකීර්ණයේ සිට
Hello there, welcome back. Well, this is the live coverage between Air Force taking on Havelock Sports Club in the Clifford Cup finals. The second half is just, the kickoff is there, and 21 points to 14 is the score. Havelock's leading. If you're just joining us from home, well, it's the big game, the Clifford Cup finals. You're watching it www.ThePapare.com, live and exclusive from the racecourse. And as we speak, you can see the airmen working their wings and trying to move past the Highways 3/4, but defense coming in very strongly. And to continue with the main commentary, Sudarshan appears.
Havelock Sports Club gifted a try to Air Force in the dying minutes of the first half. Seems like the Airmen are determined to reciprocate. Take a look at that, giving away position cheaply, and Havis trying to capitalize on that. Luckily for Air Force, Lassan Karnataka losing possession of the ball inside the 22 meters. But this game has been topsy-turvy. 14 points to 21, absolutely nothing in between the two teams except for a slight margin of 7. Here was the offload, Karnataka losing the ball forward. So Air Force really in with a chance. It's been 31 years since they made the final. Now they've made the final, they need to make sure that they can have something to brag about from here on.
Well, more than that, I would say they have to play it like a final, which they are not doing it. So many errors in the first half, so I'm sure they were spoken out and fixed things in the second half. Good to see positive play so far.
The Air Force forwards need to make sure that they support their ball carriers. Tilna Bandara taking it forward. Opting to kick from base, finds Mubarak right underneath it. Karnataka opts to go to the corner, plays a little with Varela, his opposite number, and takes the ball into contact. Air Force pouncing on the ball, trying to win it over, but the ball comes out for Havelock with Sandesh playing half-back. Now Mithun to Senal Dilaka, giving it out to Shahan. Sandesh. Sandesh playing in place of the usual skipper for Havelock Sports Club. Referee now playing advantage in favor of Havelock Sports Club for late charge on their fly-up Vikrama by the Airmen. Senal Dilaka. Now to Vikrama. Good defensive work by Air Force, hitting the Havelock ball carriers hard. Amar Singh gives it to Dikshan. Asid Gayan got a yellow card in the first half, so he'll have more energy than the rest of the players. Zaba, good handling, ball handling there by Zaba. Karnataka still on the charge. Can kick as well, so he's a lethal number to have. Referee playing advantage to the pink shirts yet again. Dilaka. Cross kick by Jai Vikrama to the corner. But Havis will go back to the penalty that was awarded. Here's the replay. There you go, taking off the halfback.
Yeah, so the score is still 21-14. Nothing much to separate, but chance for Riza Mubarak to extend the lead and he's been exceptional this evening. And it was too bad to see Sharo Fernando going out so early.
But absolutely the right call by Havelock Sports Club to go and take points. They will steer away from Air Force with this. If they can get this 3-pointer, Risa's kicking form has been good and it continues. 3 more points to Havelock Sports Club, 24 points to 14, and they get themselves a 10-point lead.
Yeah, well done Riza Mubarak. 4 out of 4 for him. Doesn't makes any mistakes. It's a big game. He knows it's finals and he knows how important each and every point is, and he is doing his contribution. He has kept a clean line except for one occasion where the line was crossed and it was pretty much 5 yards. He didn't have much to do. Beautifully, nicely sailed in kick. So 24 points to 14. So Airmen have to score twice now. They have to touch down twice. Very good restart, nicely collected by Air Force. Now they are playing with some positive vibes, something to talk about. The second half have been very, very productive for the Airmen. They played some fantastic rugby. We saw them working that line, getting the 3/4 on the move. And pretty much on the first half what they were doing was they were defending. Well, the important thing for them to keep possession, which they did in the first half. Every time they got the ball, they pretty much managed to lose that ball, and it was turnover opportunities for Havis. But right now, they have secured the ball. They are passing the ball nicely, but not collecting it. But there's an infringement, so referee has to call back play. What was that? So I didn't see any advantage signs coming in there with the referee, but suddenly it's a penalty awarded to Havis. So maybe something after the ball was offloaded would have happened.
I guess so, Clifford. I think that could have been the only reason why the referee has opted to award a penalty to Havelock Sports Club, but he has decided that it wasn't yellow card worthy. Here's another replay, another look at it. Oh, there you go, there you go. Charging a man without the ball. You're not going to get away when you do it right in front of the referee. I remember one time one of my school coaches giving us the 11th commandment inside the rugby field. Do anything you want, but don't get caught. That was his 11th commandment.
Where were you schooling? Right, so there you go, 24-14, and Havis charging again. And once again, Air Force, they had the opportunity, and this time not an error, but it was just stupidity going and charging a play without the ball. So it's a turnover, and Havelock's building very strongly. Their build-up seems very clean and forceful. Seems like 5 points on the card. A very hard tackle coming in. It was very low. Brought down the player heavily. If he's playing a little bit of advantage, or is he just holding his hand up? Still Havis trying to go forward. Good defense coming in there by Havelocks, or rather Air Force. Plenty of powerful forwards there. Hapagoda trying to work his magic. Oh, it's a turnover. Good collection there. It's an interception, I would say. That was not an ideal pass, but lost it. Havis lost it, I would say. The Air Force trying to do the same thing what Havis did, working that ball around, create few more faces to create that gap without kicking it. A sensible thing to do. Opting to go through the middle. He's got support. Oh, it's a turnover. It's a turnover. Should have held on to it. He was trying to offload, but in the meantime, Havelocks pushing forward. Good run there. A new player coming in, fresh legs. And they're charging in. Once again, Air Force in trouble, Sudarshana.
Guilty of not looking for support and not looking to spread the ball around. Sandun is the new man in for Havelock Sports Club in place of Gayan, who didn't have the best of games. Oh, easy in for the Arbery. We will let you know in just a moment. There you go, that's the replay. Beautiful tackle coming in on that man. But Sandun Herat, who was just introduced, had plenty pace to burn.
Another prominent name, Sandun Herat, in the rugby arena. We've seen him over the years producing some fantastic rugby. So he's getting his opportunity to play in the finals here at the racecourse. Live on ThePapare, big occasion. It's a knock forward scrum in favor of Havelocks. They already have 10 points lead. Can they extend?
An update coming to you from London Place at half-time. Pete Wrights are in the lead, 22 points to 12 against Wesley College. Wesley have been one of those teams who have been very promising but haven't been able to get those wins. As Havis go through the ranks, Sandun Herat still in the mix, still on his feet. Takes 4 men to bring him down. Now they look to recycle. Big man going into contact for Havelock Sports Club. Gives it to Sandesh. Straightening through is Zaba. Turnover by the Airmen, but the line had been found offside in the earlier occasion. Charles Praveen had the right to the ball. He was right on the money when he was above the ball carrier, supported his own body weight and picked it up. But unfortunately for him, his team had been found offside in the earlier occasion. Now Riza Mubarak yet again opting to go for 3 points. And yet again, it's absolutely the right call.
So once again, Air Force losing out. For a moment, I thought it was a questionable call, but when Sudarshana justifies that, I agree on that because the referee was right there. It was a little bit harsh on Air Force as well because they are trying to bounce back, but should have known better.
Harris, despite being Riza Mubarak gets his second penalty through. 5 out of 5 for the man. 2 penalties and 3 conversions. Brilliant stuff, isn't it? Mubarak, 12 points to his name.
100% accuracy, Sudarshana. So that's something very important in a big final like this. And a lot of kickers might lose concentration, but here he's got plenty of experience and he just delivers. Beautiful kicking.
Absolutely, Clifford. Havis actually are leading Air Force by 13 points, and out of the 13-12 have come from Riza. So that kicker can be your difference, because when you know you can rely on him to push you through the hard times, you get that extra bit of energy and assurance to fight for the ball. Havis this time guilty of playing offside. Amen will have a little bit of a midfield conference and decide on what to do. I believe they will go for touch. Yes, Senemi Ratna, the man entrusted with putting the ball into the line, and that's a very good kick, getting Air Force approximately 10 to 12 meters away from the touch line.
That's a very good kick indeed. Well, this is the call, this is the infringement, the offside. You can see referee's warning the player. And 50-50 there. In fact, like it was a lob pass, the player had plenty of time to charge down.
I think the referee did spot that particular player who was charging down in front of the last foot. Air Force setting it up, trying to drive through, but no way through the Havelock's forwards who were very well composed. Cross kick, putting it high up. Well, almost Riza Mubarak almost losing it out. But I believe Air Force were playing for advantage. That's why they opted to go for the cross kick. Havish guilty of bringing the ball down illegally. So Air Force will get another penalty.
That was a, well, they had 50-50 chances once again instead of going for the cross kick. So they should have thought about it, because Riza Mubarak is a tall figure and he can jump and he's in form and he's got experience. But on the other hand, well, it's an easy way out instead of working the line and trying to get the ball inside the area and trying to go for it. But right now they have the advantage, and look at that.
It was 50-50 there, Clifford. If that man could have gotten to that ball, that would have been a terrific effort. Air Force this time opting to go to number 6. And that time the sack was absolutely correct. No questions asked. Very well done on that sack by the Havelock's forwards. Now Air Force opting to keep it close, trying to grind their way through to the line. Forwards getting in on the act for Air Force. Now the scrum half distributes it out. Nuan Pereira. Here's the Air Force forwards, inches away from the try line. Have they gone across? No. Still short. A try here for Air Force, and a conversion can really change the game and make the Airmen believe that they have an opportunity. No try, lost forward. But the referee will bring play back for the Havelock's team being offside in the earlier phases. So Air Force with another opportunity. Will be interesting to see what their call would be from here. Here's a replay. Trying to reach in for the line. Yes, loses it forward.
Well, right now it's a sensible thing to go is for a scrum. I guess they're asking for a scrum, yes. Makes sense. Instead of going for touch and coming all the way back here. And they have to make sure the ball comes out clean, and from there they work. Well, there's a number 8 break, the powerful one going forward. He's got support. And that's a tough one. Havish defending very strong. And once again, Air Force pushing forward. They have players to support. They got numbers and they got the power, but still finding it difficult to break through that defensive line of Havish. So solid. They've done a splendid job. If they miss this opportunity, and if it is a turnover ball, well, that's going to be another missed opportunity for Havish, or rather for Air Force. And they score.
Oh, absolutely terrific by Air Force to have that composure to go at it. Tilna Bandar is the man who touchdown for Air Force. Lanky second rower missed majority of the first round games due to undergoing an ACL replacement surgery, but comes back in strong. Here's just on the left corner of your screens there. There you go. Reaching in, touching down. Good body position by Tilna Bandara, and Air Force get their third try. 19 points to 27 with the conversion to come. Seneviratna, the man entrusted with the kick. Shouldn't be too difficult for Seneviratna. 2 steps and it's through. 21 points to 27. So Havelock Sports Club must be really glad that they did opt to take those 2 penalty kicks. Those 6 points are the difference between the 2 teams.
Well, what a game this is. A finals.
turning out to be a real final. Beautifully done. Charit Seneviratne makes no mistakes, put that 2 points on. So for all kickers, both the kickers, it's 100% accuracy for today. 21-27 is the score. Very rightly, Sudarshana mentioned those 2 kicks, how important they are. And restart, opting to go deep inside the Air Force territory. It's a bounce, but managed to collect it cleanly. Oh no.
Well, they'll be, yes, they are quite lucky, Air Force, that they managed to get away with only a scrum, because from where we were sitting, it did look like the second player who collected the ball was slightly offside in front of the man. But yet again, lapse of concentration soon after scoring a try, gifting away possession in your own 22 to the opposite team. This has costed the Air Force once. I hope it doesn't cost them yet again, but Havis will be looking to strike straight back. Hapagoda, the man who's been entrusted with the halfback duties this game, he was opted as an impact player who comes in during the second half to finish the games off for Havelocks during the season, but has been given a start. Hapagoda feeds in. Good control at the back for Havis, but Karunathalika doesn't find any headway, trying to go through. Gains important 10 yards. Tikshana, Amar Singh to Mubarak. Sandun Herat for the line. Still on his feet. And he's been pushed over. Is it held up? Yes. Herat is held up. Momentum with Havelock Sports Club. So Havis will get a scrum in the 5 meters. Havelock Sports Club is a very top-heavy team, Clifford. They have a very good set of forwards. So how well these players are being conditioned will really come into this game, especially given the fact that it's very, very humid. It's 60 minutes on the clock. We have 20 more minutes to play. So in the latter part of this second half, these forwards are going to feel the heat. They're going to feel that fatigue. Heavy legs will come into play. So Havis need to make sure that they manage their game well.
Well, I agree on that. They have a very young forwards as well, except for Shara Fernando. The rest of them were under 25 years. And the front row itself is just only 21 years. And, well, that's amazing. So these young lads can play for years and years, as long as they can keep up and they can maintain themselves in terms of preventing injuries. So that's the best thing they have to worry about.
Oh, absolutely, Clifford. And also they are missing Dushmanta Priyadarshana, who was one of those players who posed it out for Havelock Sports Club. Started off his career as a wing, but turned into a prop forward, and such a loyal servant he's been. Sanaka Bandara is in place of Zayan Zabar as Karunathalika breaks, and he's been pushed laterally, still on his feet, looking to make some headway, goes into the 5 meters. Havis now pushing through and looking for their fourth try. Air Force trying to be a menace around that breakdown. Was found guilty of coming in from the sides. Referee wanting to have a word with the player who infringed.
Well, fresh legs there for Havis. Amir Fajuddin is in front for Diane Saber.
So both the Saber brothers have been taken out, Diane and Zion. In comes Chanaka Bandar and Fajuddin, the regular hooker for Havelock Sports Club, who had a fantastic season this year with the pink shirts. 5 meter scrum. Karunathalika can be assured to There you go. 8-9 move. Hapagoda just inches away. Advantage to Havelock Sports Club. I believe there was a high tackle coming in from the Airmen or a desperation in the cover defense.
A bit of selfish play there by Hapagoda. Could have offloaded it. You had plenty of players there.
Fajudeen with a carry. Hapagoda sniping in. No way through there. Karunathilaka still on his feet. Touches down inside the... So Lasidu Karunathilaka finally brings in that fourth try for Havelock Sports Club. And is this the one that puts the game to rest? We will have to wait and see. But 32 points to 21 with the conversion to come. Havis finally managing to find their rhythm in this second half and touchdown for a try.
Yeah, they really worked for it, the forwards together. Well, Hapagoda once again could have offloaded and sent it out to the 3 quarters. But again, it's a good try, very powerful one. And he got the support coming in from the other forwards as well. But Air Force, on the other hand, losing a bit of concentration and getting deceived by Hapagoda. And right now, 32-21 is the score. Another challenge for Mubarak, who has kicked 5 out of 5. Beautiful angle. It's very clear and evident from here. You can witness this. One of the best kickers Sri Lanka has ever produced. What a play he is. Reza Mubarak.
That's good as well. So Reza Mubarak, 6 out of 6. Gets through the ranks, 34 points to 21. Havis, yet again, increasing their deficit to 13 points. Air Force will have a lot of work to do in this final 20 minutes of the Clifford Cup knockouts. As the restart, good tap back by the Airmen. Charles Praveen carrying the ball forward for Air Force, and that's going to be a penalty. Not releasing the man and supporting the body weight. The guilty party from Havelock Sports Club was their number 4.
Well, sensible thing to do, opting to go for touch. There you go, going for it. But this time doesn't gain that much of yardage, but good enough. It was just right in front of referee, or rather AR Dinkapiris.
If Air Force can hit back with a try on their own, this game is really going to heat up in this final few minutes of this final. Here's Parakram Ratnayaka, but that throw is won by the opposite number for Havelock Sports Club.
So good recycling there by Havis. And once again, opportunity missed by Air Force to capitalize on the ball they had. And sensible thing to do. Clear the area and get out of the trouble zone. What a kick. Good kick there by Reza Mubarak. Fantastic one. And the 3 quarters are coming in to support. (34 points to 21). Air Force trailing. And Havelock's coming into this game as favorites. They're playing up to it. And Mithun Hapagoda goes off and Vimukti Rahula comes in. So that's a substitution, very important one for Havis. That's a link-up player. Good long one, not a clean one. There goes Air Force, loses the ball again. It's a big mistake for them to not to hold on to it. They are losing possession just like that. You can't be doing much without having the ball. Much of the game they've been defending.
because they've been losing the ball every time they got the ball.
It really does baffle me, Clifford. They got a penalty, kicked it into touch, tried going to number 4, they missed that one out, and then when they are on a defensive line out, they go to number 6. Try and give some confidence to the hooker by going to number 2 or take a front peel and make sure that you secure possession without trying to be too smart and going to number 6, because it's never easy once you have that doubt at the back of your mind as a hooker with your throws not finding the mark. It's very difficult to try and capitalize on that, but Air Force missing a trick and presenting Havelock Sports Club with another penalty. And this one is right in front of the post, and Riza Mubarak is definitely going to increase his match bag by adding on 3 more points here.
(34-21). Havish to add 3 more points. Riza Mubarak, the man in form. So let's see whether he could make this. You never know. Sometimes you kick all the hard ones and there are possibilities of missing out on the easy ones. Tired legs probably. You never know.
Oh, trust me, Riza Mubarak and CRNFC would know, because Riza missed out a similar conversion for CRNFC where they could have become the knockout champions, beating Kandy Sports Club, but not this time. Adds on 3, 37 points to 21. Riza Mubarak has been absolutely terrific. He's been 100% this game. He has marshaled his troops from the back of the line and also been very secure under the high balls.
Well, relatively they have a young set of 3 quarters, and the experience comes in from Dabari and Mubarak, and also Mithun Hapogoda. So that's a good combination to have along with the youngsters, and it has worked well for Havish so far this season. I wonder why referee's hugging the ball.
Well, the game held up because the referee is not happy with something. Oh, for a second, the ball boy thought that was the lack of a ball that was delaying the game. Beautiful aerial footage brought to you by our production team, who are working tirelessly to bring you the best available angles from these games. And seems like Vimukti Rahul has come in place of Mithun Hapogoda, replacing him as the halfback. Karunathilaka straightening things up, has been a terrific player for Havelock Sports Club. Straightening things up. Umesh Madhushan, what a brilliant run from him. Identified the space and had the good sense to offload as well. But ball cheaply given away by Havelocks. Unfortunately there. All the good work done by Madhushan. Vimukti Rahul goes begging. There you go. Dilanka did not have to pass that ball. He had to hold on to the ball and make it available. There was no rush or hurry for Havelock Sports Club. So the Airmen now with a scrum inside their own half in the 40-meter line. Here's Ishar, long cutout pass on the bounce to Seneviratna. Good work done by Seneviratna, managing to spot where his support is. Air Force still not out of the fight, although it's going to be an uphill task. Getting 16 points in this final 10 minutes of play. They will have to hurry up. Long pass to Iddamalgoda with a little dink. Lucky bounce. Havish managed to get a hand on it. Referee playing advantage in favor of Air Force. Here's Air Force on the run. Charles Praveen, beautiful offload to Madhushan. Madhushan wants him to cut back in. One man to beat, Ishara Madhushan. Need to keep an eye on the supporters he have. Big ball carrier Charles Praveen straightening things up for Air Force. Changing direction. Air Force now asking a lot of questions. Couple of meters away from the try line. Referee stops play and will bring back play to an earlier infringement where Havelock Sports Club were guilty of playing offside. Beautiful look of the racecourse stadium. Looks terrific, isn't it, Clifford, when this aerial footage comes through? Looks looks like somewhere out of this country.
Well, out of the world, I would say. Beautiful clip there. Nice capturing, beautiful weaving. Look at that bird's eye view. You can see the live coverage as well. You can see the greenery. How beautiful Colombo is, especially these racecourse grounds. Well maintained. The home of rugby, I would say. Well, arguably Nithal is the home of rugby. But then again, this is so maintained. International standards and second to none. The atmosphere today is fantastic as well.
But actually thinking about it, Clifford, racecourse grounds, the Bloomfield, Royal Complex, CCC, SSC, NCC, all these grounds, and also Sierra and FC as well. Thank God for all these grounds, otherwise all of this would have been concrete all around in Colombo. So these grounds are actually preserving the space and making it much more livable here in Colombo rather than it being a concrete jungle. But Air Force now with an opportunity to try and pull one back, get another score. They brought a real fight, this team, for a team to be a team that was placed at the bottom of the league, still fighting their way through. Havis would have expected this game to be a little more easier than what they're facing.
What an awful offload there. Just killed that move. Air Force working so hard and terrible offload there. Should have known better. It's the finals and you're in the dying stages. You need points. And look at that. Very low. And the player has even to go down below the knee level to hold on to it. Too bad. Once again, opportunity missed by Air Force.
Replacement coming in place of Nuwan comes in Jason Karnaratna, last year's halfback for St. Peter's College, turning out for the Airmen. Just over 6.5 minutes to go on our clock. The referee's clock might have a couple of more minutes owing to a few injuries that came through in this second half. Second half, however, we didn't see that quarterly water break being taken, so I believe the humidity in the grounds would have reduced a little.
Or maybe referee is feeling fit. He have forgotten about the players. But anyways, it's beautiful conditions. But it's a sensible thing to introduce that water break because the conditions were, well, especially March, April season is very hot and warm. So they have done it very nicely and thinking about the player safety, and that is something really important. When I say safety, dehydration is also something you have to take into consideration.
Oh, absolutely, Clifford, and especially given the fact that this is one of those hottest periods that we are facing in Sri Lanka after a couple of years. Asita Gayan going into contact for Havelock Sports Club. Havi still in the grind. Up by 16 points, but not a convincing effort by the Power Club referee. Right away sends Praveen to the bin. That's a high tackle, says the referee, and it was a dangerous tackle, not deemed as accidental or accidental specially. So Praveen will play no further part in this Clifford Cup final, and Air Force will have to finish the game with only 14 men.
Yeah, it's been a good game for Havelocks, I would say. Even though they had a shaky start, they played really well. Air Force put on a lot of pressure in the very few minutes, but thereon was the game turned out to be Havelocks. It's not because of Havelocks playing so superbly, but Air Force opportunities were missed. And they had plenty of opportunities. They were not capitalizing on that. Instead of creating more opportunities, they were converting them into errors. Unfortunate for them. Second half again, a bright start for them. They came back, but Havelocks built on what they had and they continued to go. So that's the story so far. 74 minutes on the clock, 37-21 is the score, and it's pretty much in the dying stages, and the game very much belongs to Havelocks from now onwards. Unless otherwise, if Air Force can do a miracle.
Well, I think even for them to try and get a miracle out, they're running out of time. Here was the replay.
More! Back!
Tuan Pakir comes in place of Kaushal Manupriya. And Havis have brought in their regular skipper, Niroshan Fernando, to the mix. Air Force managing to turn the ball around to their favor, setting up a maul now. Karnaratna. Quick ball out to Madhushan. Idamalgoda putting the ball to boot. Charging and collecting it himself. Brilliant work by Idamalgoda. Offloads to Tilina Bandara. Karnaratna tries to rush things around, but unfortunately for Air Force, loses the ball forward.
Well, again on that occasion, the battle was the player who was going down trying to hold on to the ball, and the supporting player was trying to grab the ball. So that's where the knock forward occurred. Yeah, there you go, you can see that. And that's where the knock forward occurred. So should I have left the player who is picking up let him to pick up the ball. 37-21. You're watching live and exclusively this on www.thepapare.com, Sri Lanka's #1 sporting hub. And you get to witness the entire rugby season as well as the Clifford Cup. Plus, you're going to watch more rugby. The school season is up.
Oh, absolutely. Things are just heating up in the school's rugby season, as Lasin Karnatilaka breaks at the back. Has been terrific for Havis this entire season, like we mentioned, and also this game got himself on the point scorers list as well. Havis grinding away closer to the 40-meter line of in the Air Force half. And a quick update coming to you from the London place. Seems like St. Peter's have steered away from the Wesley Challenge. Pete Wrights currently lead 32 points to 12 as Air Force are struggling hard to get away from the Park Club boys. Gayanthi Damalgoda, brave man to run from his own line. And Clifford, I think it's time for us to try and decide who the player of the match is going to be. But Air Force here trying to look from end to end.
Well, we had acres of space on the left. I don't know why was he trying to run inside and cut across.
I think he believed that he did not have enough gas and enough pace to outrun Sandun Herat, who was on the right flank. Air Force coming away with a penalty. Clifford, I think it's time for us to decide who the player of the match is going to be. I think a couple of players put their hands up for me. It was terrific play by Lasindu Karnatilaka, the number 8 for Havelock Sports Club. He was absolutely impressive. His work rate has been on point. And also Riza Mubarak, the veteran at the back, who's been safe as houses in defense and also in attack. He's joined the line and with his boot has contributed so much for Havelocks. Has been 100% accurate, especially given the fact that it's a final. Those two are the two players who've really put their hands up. Umesh Madhushan has done well as well for Havelock Sports Club, gone in and done all the dirty work. And for Air Force, I think Ishara Madhushan, who's playing in the number 10 jersey, needs an honourable mention for his good work as well. Pulled the Air Force back with a try in the second half, but I leave it up to you to decide who the man of the match is going to be, Clifford. I think it needs to be either one, either Lasindu Karnatilaka or Riza Mubarak. I leave it to you to decide who it's going to be.
Well, I would say it's a good choice and two good competitors and contenders, and it's a good move by both of them, or rather you to select both of them. But I would go with Lasindu in order to get Riza to kick those. Lasindu did the hard work in taking those, because a couple of tries coming from, in fact 3 tries coming from the forwards for Havis, and especially Lasindu scoring himself as well. So I would say the man of the match award goes to Lasindu Karnatilaka. So fantastic player. He produced some brilliant rugby. He tackled, he ran with the ball, he was there in each and every rock and maul, plus he scored. And this man, Riza Mubarak, well, second to none. He scored, but the opportunities were created for him to score by the forwards. So I would like to go with Lasindu.
Oh, I absolutely agree with you. I think Riza Mubarak, much has been said about his heroics. Now trying to finish this game off with a penalty. And he does, no problem. Havelock Sports Club, your Dialog Rugby Knockout Champions of 2019. And Lasindu Karnatilaka, player of the final with a terrific performance. And Riza Mubarak, absolutely honourable mention on that veteran fly-half who's been doing well. And the man on your screen, Ishara Madhushan for Air Force, was brilliant, but his side coming short in this game. But all credit to Air Force. A lot of people would have thought that they will be pushovers in this finals, especially given the fact that they were placed last in the league. But against the second place, against the runners-up of the league, they really did put up a show here at the final.
Well, it's good to see Havis walking out with some silverware at the end of the season after all the hard work. It was a promising side to come in. Very unfortunate for CH for not winning anything this season. But again, Havelock's one of the favourites when the season began, going away with the trophies. Something nice for them as well. And the club actually have achieved something. And also, like you rightly said, Air Force coming into the finals, well, they didn't get pushed away. They really fought. Look at the scoreline, 40 points to 21. And it's not just a final, and it's not a piece of cake or just a walk in the park for Havis. They really had to work for that victory. So credit goes to Air Force as well.
I wouldn't say Havelock Sports Club were favourites coming into the season, Clifford, especially given the fact that they've lost a couple of players in very key positions. Lost to Damsuriarach at halfback, lost both their centres, Hiranta Pereira and Nishan Pereira. And they were going to struggle, but a couple of young players who came into the ranks really stepping up, in the likes of Asmir Fajudin. They had Dinu Kamarasinghe, Tikshana Fernando, who really stepped up and clearly put Havelocks on the map alongside the veteran players, the likes of Dushmanta Priyadarshana, Riza Mubarak, Shara Fernando getting in the mix. And Umesh Madhushan was also one of those players who was absolutely terrific for Havelock Sports Club. He was right on the mark, being a flanker. He was turned into a lock for Havelock Sports Club, but was absolutely brilliant.
Well, there you go. That's the final score. 37-21. Havelock Sports Club winning this in style, and they really have to work for it. And Air Force coming into the finals. Well, they really gave a fight. And there you go. So let's take a look at the second half, Sudarshana, because that's where everything turned. Because going into the first half, still the game was in the balance. And take a look at the second half highlights.
That's right, Clifford. 21 points to 7. Havis did look like they were right in control, but Riza Mubarak opted to convert to penalties and make sure that they get away from striking distance. Here's Muthu Napugara creating a chance for eventual play of the match. Lasindu Karnatilaka to touchdown. And what a day Riza had with the boot. Everything that he kicked turned into points. And managing to finish it off with an easy penalty. Celebration for the Park Club boys, but I believe Air Force will be proud of the fight that they put up. They have only themselves to blame, because unfortunately for them, they gave away too many opportunities. Here's how the stats card look at halftime. Havelocks led 14 points to 21, and at the end of the game, it was Havelocks who took away the trophy. 37 points to 21. Air Force managing to touch down 3 tries, all 3 converted. Havis on the other hand got 4 tries, all 4 converted, alongside 3 penalties through Riza Mubarak's boot. And player of the match, Lasindu Ishan Karnatilaka of Havelock Sports Club, the number 8, who had a terrific work rate and also managed to get on the scoreboard as well.
So with that being said, we are going in for a short commercial break. Once you're back, we'll be bringing you the pictures or the live coverage of the presentation ceremony of the Clifford Cup. So stay tuned. The big ceremony is coming up next.
Sophisticated selection of Yardley, London.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Cheesy treats, we want more.
Crescent Mini Keeves. Try it. Love it. The original Mini Keeves, only from Crescent.
Sophisticated selection of Yardley, London.
Crunchy Munchy.
Fiery Kochi.
Crescent Kochi Bites. Try it. Love it. The original Kochi Bites, only from Crescent.
Sophisticated selection of Yardley, London.
Get with the global Pulsar mania now and upgrade to the new and improved Pulsar 200 NS from David Peary's Motor Company Private Limited.
நேரடி ஒளிபரப்பு யாழ்ப்பாணத்திலிருந்து.
මාතර කොටවිල ගම්පියසට ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා.
සිද්ධදාස
at මොරටුව පියගම මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ ක්‍රීඩාංගණය.
கிழக்கு மாகாணம்.
සුගතදාස ඉන්ඩෝර් ස්ටේඩියම්
is the Fox Hill Supercross.
කුරුණෑගල සිරි ඇතුගල් පුරවරය
papare.com අපි අද ඇවිල්ලා ඉන්නේ නෝරෙලිය ප්‍රදේශයේ.
Final showdown Candy Sports Club.
පොළොන්නරුව ජාතික සංකීර්ණයේ සිට
நேரடி ஒளிபரப்பு யாழ்ப்பாணத்திலிருந்து.
මාතර කොටවිල ගම්පියසට ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා.
සිද්ධදාස
at මොරටුව පියගම මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ ක්‍රීඩාංගණය.
கிழக்கு மாகாணம்.
සුගතදාස ඉන්ඩෝර් ස්ටේඩියම්
is the Fox Hill Supercross.
කුරුණෑගල සිරි ඇතුගල් පුරවරය
papare.com අපි අද ඇවිල්ලා ඉන්නේ නෝරෙලිය ප්‍රදේශයේ.
Final showdown Candy Sports Club.
පොළොන්නරුව ජාතික සංකීර්ණයේ සිට
ක්‍රීඩා පුවත් සිංහලෙන් www.thepapare.com වෙබ් අඩවියට පිවිසලා සිංහල භාෂාව තෝරාගන්න. ක්‍රිකට්, රග්බි, පාපන්දු, වොලිබෝල්, මලල ක්‍රීඩා, පැසිපන්දු විතරක් නෙමෙයි වෙනත් ක්‍රීඩා සහ විශේෂාංග ලිපි උනත් The Papare සිංහල තුලින්. ඇයි අපේ වීඩියෝ පිටුව ක්‍රීඩාව හා සම්බන්ධ දහසකුත් එකක් වීඩියෝ, සම්මුඛ සාකච්ඡා. ඒ වගේම ඇසිදිසි, රග්බි පිටිය, පිටියේ කතා, ස්පෝර්ට්ස් මසාලා වගේ සතිපතා ජනප්‍රිය විශේෂාංග නරඹන්න. ඔබේ පරිගණකේ ටැබ් එකේ එහෙමත් නැත්නම් ස්මාර්ට්ෆෝන් එකෙන් ලබා ගන්න ඔබට ලේසියෙන්ම පුළුවන්. The Papare සිංහල ක්‍රීඩා පුවත් ඩිජිටලීකරණය.
නේරඩි ඔලිබරපු යාල්පානතිල
මාතර කොටවිල ගම්පියසට ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා.
සිද්ධදාස
at මොරටුව පියගම මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ ක්‍රීඩාංගණය.
කිලක්කු මාහාන
සුගතදාස ඉන්ඩෝ ස්ටේඩියම්
is the Fox Hill Supercross.
කුරුණෑගල සිරි ඇතුගල් පුරවරය
papare.com අපි අද ඇවිල්ලා ඉන්නේ නුවරඑළිය ප්‍රදේශයට.
Final showdown Candy Sports Club.
පොළොන්නරුව ජාතික සංකීර්ණයේ සිට
And here we go. Everything is done and dusted. Havis taking on Air Force and being in the big finals, and it was a game that was won by Havelock, something to go for, and they managed to win that, and that's the silverware they have won for this season, and coming out as a promising side, they have made it count. So the final score was 21 against 37 and 37 for Havis. Well, there you go. So that's the story so far, and the presentation is about to begin. Let's go and take a look at what's happening out there in the middle.
Yes, thank you, Sudarshana, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the post-match presentation and award ceremony for the Dialog Clifford Cup 2019. We had 7 magnificent teams that took to this competition, and only 2 made the finals here today. Of course, it was a back and forth game, a riveting game, an exciting game of rugby. Of course, and also it's a historic occasion for the Air Force team just to be here after many, many years of trying. Commiserations to the Air Force Sports Club. Well played to Air Force. And congratulations to Havelock Sports Club once again, the Dialog Clifford Cup champions. Okay, before we start the awards, I'd like to invite the presentation party onto the stage beside me. We're going to start with our chief guest for the evening, the Honorable Mr. Harin Fernando, Minister of Telecommunication, Foreign Employment and Sports, followed by Mr. Supun Veerasinghe, Director, Group Chief Executive, Dialog Asiata PLC, Mr. Lasitha Gunaratne, President, Sri Lanka Rugby, Mr. Harsha Samaranayaka, Senior General Manager, Brand and Media, Dialog Asiata PLC, and Mr. ThePapare, the Honorable Secretary for Sri Lanka Rugby. Gentlemen, please make your way to the stage so we can begin the festivities. Thank you very much for joining us, gentlemen. Of course, we are going to start with the runner-up medals. Of course, both teams played magnificently well. Only one team can win though. I'd like to invite Mr. ThePapare, the Honorable Secretary of Sri Lanka Rugby, to please step forward and present the medals for the runners-up of the Dialog Rugby Clifford Cup 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, Air Force Sports Club. Thank you very much, Mr. Pires. Yes, it was a magnificent effort all throughout the cup by the Air Force boys. They created history just by being here on this grand stage for the final, and we wish them all the best for next year's endeavor as well. Right now, I'd like to invite the president of Sri Lanka Rugby, Mr. Lasitha Gunaratne, to please step forward. He will be presenting the Dialog Rugby Clifford Cup Runners-Up Trophy to the captain of the Air Force Sports Club. Commiserations once again to the Air Force Sports Club. Hopefully we'll see them back here next year. Moving on. Thank you very much once again, Mr. Gunaratne. But I'd like you to stay forward, Mr. Gunaratne, and joining you will be Mr. Harsha Samanarayaka, the Senior General Manager, Brand and Media, Dialog Asiata PLC. This, ladies and gentlemen, is for your Dialog Rugby Clifford Cup 2019 champions medals, and that goes to the Havelock Sports Club. Thank you very much, Mr. Gunaratne and Mrs. Samaranaika. Now, of course, it was a magnificent showing by the Havelock Sports Club, not just today, but right throughout the Cup, but especially today for that magnificent performance in a high-pressure final to come through with flying colors. Okay, before we get to the big one, before we get to the crowning of the Champions Trophy, there is another trophy that needs to be given to the winning team, and that is the Dialog Rugby Knockout Cup for 2019. And to give this cup away, I'd like to ask the following dignitaries to step forward. The Honorable Mr. Harin Fernando, Minister of Telecommunication, Foreign Employment and Sports, and joining him will be Mr. Supun Weerasinghe, the Director, Group Chief Executive of Dialog Asiata PLC. And I'd like to invite the captain of the Havelock Sports Club to come forward and collect this trophy. Hold on a minute, boys. Before you get on the stage, there's one more trophy that needs to be given away, and this will be also given by the Honorable Mr. Harin Fernando and Mr. Supun Weerasinghe. This is the crowning of the 2019 Dialog Rugby Clifford Cup Champions, Havelock Sports Club! All right. Boys, I'm going to have to ask you to invite the dignitaries as well behind you. Our presentation party, please join the team in taking the official winner's photograph. You'll be given plenty of time to celebrate on the champions podium, but right now, this is the official winner's photograph. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, make some noise for your champions, Havelock Sports Club. Right, okay, thank you very much to our dignitaries and our VIPs for joining us on the stage. By the way, boys, you can now celebrate over here on the champions podium. So make your way over there and get ready for plenty of celebration that will go long into the night. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've loosened up those vocal cords to make noise for once again your Dialog Clifford Cup champions 2019 Havelock Sports Club!
There you go, the champions of Clifford Cup 2019 and the champions of Dialog Rugby Knockout Tournament 2019 Havelock Sports Club. What a turnaround it has been for the Park Club Clifford after being handicapped by the departure and the exodus of so many players. They finished the league as the league runners-up, and here they are winning the prestigious Clifford Cup. Brilliant story for the Park Club boys, and great years ahead with them having a very young team.
Well, yeah, I completely agree with you. But more than the league, I would say Clifford Cup has better history, and also is much more superior in terms of the richness which has got in it. And Park Club going on to winning that, and that's something special for them this year. And like you said, even though it was not a promising, rather a favourites to see the season, but they had a promising team, but they had a lot of players moving out. And with that, they have come in here and they have produced some fantastic rugby, and they have managed to win some silverware to end the season on a higher note. That is something positive for them to take forward. Hopefully they'll come back bouncing hard and continue with this winning momentum. I mean, if you look at it, Candy's been dominating rugby throughout. It could be knockout, it could be the league, the Clifford Cup. You just name it, Candy Sports Club is there. And it's something for a club from outside the circle to come and win it. That's something special. And congratulations to them. They played a fantastic game, and they played it like a final, held their composure. They were calm, no nervous moments, and fantastic kicking there by Riza Mubarak to get those number of points on board. And beautiful display of rugby. Havelock Sports Club, congratulations. But on the other hand, Navy Sports Club, or in fact, pardon me, Air Force, coming into this final, even though they had a walkover against Candy, but still they managed to win the rest of the games to be here in the finals. And they started very well, but unfortunately, Havelock was far more superior than them on this day. But if not, definitely, they also had a good game. But congratulations to both teams.
Alright, now we will cross over as Yusron Lodra is going to have a word with Riza Mubarak, the man who managed to collect so many points for Havelocks today in this game and put them into winning ways. Over to Yusron Lodra.
I have with me one of the most key players in this Havelock outfit, which let them win this Clifford Cup trophy in 2019. Reza Mubarak, the fullback of this championship winning team of Havelock Sports Club. Reza, tell us, how do you feel about this victory after 38 years? Your last one in 1981 and now it's 2019, a team that you played a vital role in.
Praise be to Almighty God. We're really happy to win this tournament. So all credit should go to all the players, supporting staff, coaches, all the non-playing team members and everyone. It's good to have the win.
Reza, what do you think about this victory? How important is this tally in your career, rugby career?
It's actually very important because this is my first Clifford Cup win. The boys worked really hard because it was just 1 week and then we had to play 3 matches in 1 week. So I think everyone's happy with this.
So last question, Reza. Will this be your final appearance in the Clifford Cup in your pink jerseys and in this rugby field?
Hopefully not. Inshallah, I'll be playing one more season.
Thank you so much, Reza. So Sudarshan Piris, we're back to you with the commentary box.
Thank you, Yusran. So Yusran Lantra having a word with Reza Mubarak. Finally, we're very eager to know whether Reza will continue for one more year, and Reza very diplomatically replying, God willing, I'll play one more year. So we have more games of Reza brilliance to be witnessed in the coming year as well. But what a game it has been by Havelock Sports Club, ending as the knockout champions. Like you mentioned, knockouts is a little more tougher than the league because you cannot have any off days. We saw CH being knocked out, having an off day, Police being knocked out, having an off day, Army Sports Club steamrolled by Havelock Sports Club for having an off day, and here we are.
Also Candy voluntarily getting something knocked out. And well, it's like you said, yes, it's a tough competition. Anything could happen. It's a knockout because there's no way of coming back. If it is a league, you can have a defeat, but still you can come back. But unfortunately, but not in this thing. But therefore, this is one of the superior competitions. Highly competitive game and highly competitive format, I would say. And Clifford Cup, the prestigious Clifford Cup. Well, I'm very proud to say that. The prestigious Clifford Cup is something unique for you to have in your trophy cabinet. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Reza Mubarak, after having played rugby for clubs for more than 10 years, it's his first victory. He will cherish that victory. Although the Clifford Cup concludes here, rugby action doesn't finish at ThePapare.com, as we have plenty of weekly segments coming in for you. And every Tuesday you will have the breakdown brought to you by Shanaka, where he breaks down all these games. The singular version brought to you by Asan Kadir and Pala again on Tuesday, and every Wednesday we will have some scintillating tries of the week, where we have plenty action from the club league, club knockouts, and also the schools week 4. That's it from us from here at the race course. It's been an absolute pleasure bringing you all this action, and on a Sunday evening, what a game of rugby we've had. Sudarshan Apiri signing off alongside Clifford Surendran and ThePapare.com technical and the production teams. Have yourself a great evening.
ඉවරපු යාල්පානතිල.
මාතර කොටවිල ගම්පියසට ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා.
සිරිතදාස
at මොරටුව පියගම මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ ක්‍රීඩාංගණය.
කිලක්කු මාහාන.
Sugadadasa Indoor Stadium
is the Fox Hill Supercross.
කුරුණෑගල සිරි ඇතුගල් පුරවරය
papare.com අපි අද ඇවිල්ලා ඉන්නේ නූරෙලිය ප්‍රදේශයේ.
Final showdown Candy Sports Club.
Pornaruwa ජාතික සංකීර්ණයේ සිට